certified freak. 7 days a week.
Man, they can't see my little
Got
face.
the holes in the
Holes in the house.
You know,
I don't cook and I don't clean. What?
that song, it just it's one of those songs where it's like everybody's thinking it. They're the ones that just said it.
Yep. White chicks moment.
It's an amazing song.
You know, and there's all this debate going on right now because all of these Twitter is on fire right now with it. I love Twitter. I just love Twitter.
Me too.
Because everyone's like the double standard between male rappers and female rappers. Essentially, male rappers rap about the same shit. They degrade women, talk about drugs, talk about illegal things all the time. But then you've got two successful women writing the same song essentially just from a woman's perspective, and now it's ugly, now it's gross, now it's, oh my god, it's filthy, I can't believe you're talking like that. And it's like, okay, that's a lot of what the rap music is nowadays.
Yeah.
So I don't get it. It just really, to me, men are so weak and just so fragile, and their egos get hurt so easily because
Toxic masculinity.
it's just the song
The
itself.
patriarchy.
It's just like the lyrics, yeah, they're outrageous, and you're gonna get mad about that. Like, it's just so, get over yourself. Oh
Yeah, I don't
my.
understand what the big deal is. I think it's an awesome song. I think it's an awesome song that I like to.
It has a good
bop
beat.
to.
I like watching.
They
all
looked
of the-
gorgeous in that
Yeah,
music
they
video.
did.
Man,
God.
they looked so good.
I loved it. I loved everything about it. And yeah, I don't understand what the big deal is. I really don't. I don't understand what the big deal is. I thought it was a good song. There was did you see Ben Shapiro singing it?
No.
Or not singing it. He was reciting the lyrics on, I don't know, one of the conservative news stations that are okay with the president talking about grabbing a pussy, but not about a wet ass pussy, which I think is funny.
Man.
Anyway, but it's just
hypocrisy.
locker room talk, Ben Shapiro. It's just locker room talk, buddy. It's fine. It's fine, right?
It's like women aren't allowed to have their own version of locker room talk. It's like,
Yeah.
it's oh
First
my
of
gosh,
all,
I can't believe women.
locker room talk is not a fucking thing, first of all. But second of all, if you believe in locker room talk, then what's wrong with WAP? Like, I don't understand. Like, by your own logic, what the fuck is wrong with it? Anyway, there's this one quote from this conservative. Where was he? And it was really funny, and I wanna read it to y'all. I think I saved it here. Oh yeah, James P. Bradley, who I guess is a candidate for the Congress, I think. He tweeted, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion are what happens when children are raised without God and without a strong father figure. Their new quote-unquote song, the hashtag WAP, which I love that he hashtagged it, which I heard accidentally, made me want to pour holy water in my ears and feel sorry for future girls if this is their role model. I just want to point out that you can't hear a whole song accidentally, James. So you couldn't have heard it like, okay, if you heard wet ass pussy more than once in a song, it's not an accident anymore. It's like you didn't change the channel after the first time you heard
It's like
it.
a 3-minute song.
Yeah, it's not an accident
You didn't
anymore.
accidentally listen to something for 3 minutes.
Just
Like,
admit you were twerking to the beat, just like everybody else, James. Just admit it. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I just have 3 words to say about it. Peaches and cream. Remember that song? Remember Peaches and Cream?
That was a bop.
Yep.
And I should not have been singing it at 9 years old.
No.
I should not have been singing it at 9 years old.
I need it because you know that I'm a fiend. Know what I mean? Peaches and cream.
But also
That was a song sung by a man about what?
women.
Going down on a woman. Yeah. Thank you very freaking much. But it was okay. It was okay. Well, it probably wasn't.
But can we also talk about how there was also the thong song?
Oh, yeah.
Thong. And what's that talking about? A girl's peach in a thong.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but we can't talk about that.
I love it, make me to go. That thong, 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 thong. I love that.
Once
Nailed
again,
it.
Another bop I shouldn't have been singing at 9 years old. I wasn't allowed to wear thongs
Well,
back
maybe
then.
if you had a strong father figure, you wouldn't have been listening to those songs.
But here's the thing, I do have a strong like I don't have daddy issues.
That's why that tweet
that's
is
not it.
That's why that tweet is so
then
fucking funny.
So then if they have daddy issues, are we going to admit that the men have mommy issues and that's why they talk about degrading women so much or what?
My
'Cause
thing is,
I think rappers probably have more daddy issues than females, right? No?
I don't know,
A controversial statement.
I just feel like I just feel like singing about how you like to have sex is not a mommy or a daddy issue. I think it's just the way you like to have sex. And the only requirement of sex is consent. So if you want to sing about anything else, I think you should fucking sing about anything else. I don't understand. I don't.
Speaking of songs, if you're going to have issues with, what about the Whisper song by the Ying Yang Twins, where he's literally whispering in a female's ear the entire video? That's creepy! That's creepy!
I don't know. Do I know that song?
The Whisper song by the Ying Yang Twins?
It sounds familiar, but I can't think of how it is.
He's literally whispering
in my brain
to the girl about what he wants to do with her. That's the Whisper song. Hey, little mama, let me whisper in here.
Oh, yeah!
I couldn't remember how it went either.
Literally telling her what he wants to do to her.
I really hope that
in her ear.
I really hope that picked up on the podcast because that was funny.
Like, he's literally whispering in her ear, and this is a very explicit song. So you're gonna have issues with WAP. You're gonna have issues with the Whisper song.
Hey, how you doing, little mama? Let me whisper in your ear. Tell you something that you might like to hear. Got a sexy ass body and your ass looks soft. Mind if I touch you and see if it's soft? Now,
See?
just be and let you say
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah. I think that's just the hilarity, I think, of this whole situation, which is like, wait, you've never heard a song about sex? They've been around forever.
Ever.
So I don't understand what the big old deal
But
is.
because a woman's doing it, it's not.
Let me lick you like a lollipop. Remember that song?
Yeah.
That was the jam.
Well, Candy Shot by 50 Cent too shouldn't
Oh
have been
my
something I
God.
was listening to either.
But Lollipop came out.
Birthday
When
Sex. There is a
when I
song
was
called
an adult.
Birthday Sex. There is a song called Birthday Sex.
Birthday sex. I don't remember the words to that one, but
So
yeah, I
once
remember that one.
again, it's not. I don't think it's the song itself. I think it's who's singing it.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I
It's
think
not the
so
song
too.
itself, because if a male rapper came out with something like that, talking about his dick, it wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
Right.
It would be number one on the billboards, which this song is actually number one on the billboard. So they're, it's a successful song.
It's a good
But
song.
it's just something about men watching women be successful and do things better than them that just really grinds their gears.
Well, I think it's also that some men, definitely conservative men specifically, unfortunately, have this idea of women's bodies as them being in control over women's bodies. So when you have a confident woman, especially a confident black woman, talk about being in control of her body and knowing what she wants and knowing what makes her feel good and asking for it, they have a huge issue with that because they are not used to women being in control of their own bodies, and specifically black women, because let's be honest, black women historically have been exploited for their bodies forever since the times of slavery. So yeah, it's definitely very ingrained, just misogynistic, sexist, and racist stuff when you start to really complain and have a huge issue with a woman expressing how she wants to be pleasured or what she wants to do with her body. Like, you sound like a fucking tool. Mm-hmm. Like, you sound like a misogynistic, sexist tool. So if you're going to really go that route, well, then let's fucking talk about it. And that's the truth. The truth is that you have a real problem with women expressing sexuality when they are in control, when they are in control of their own bodies. It's only accepted if a man is talking about a woman's body, and it's even more accepted when that man has power. Like when President Trump talked about grabbing women's pussies, no one on or I wouldn't say no one, I had a problem with it, and I know a lot of people that did have a problem with it, but there was a lot less debate on the conservative male side.
Well,
on the side of men in general. There was a lot less debate about it.
Well, because the people that had the power to do something about it were the ones that weren't offended by it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They were like, oh, well, he just says boys will be boys. He just says what he says. And it's like, but he's the president of the United fucking States. Like, I cannot believe we went 4 years with President Trump. Vote.
Everyone needs to vote.
Vote, goddammit. Vote.
Everyone needs to vote.
Anyways.
No, so it's definitely an ingrained type of misogyny when you start to have just a real passionate problem with women talking about their own bodies, 100%. And you can't get around that. You know, Ben Shapiro, all these, James, whatever the fuck your name is, who's running for Congress, you can talk around it all you fucking want to. You can bring up God, Jesus, parents, your child, their child. And by the way, how did you accidentally, quote unquote, listen to that song? Was it because your kid was listening to it? Okay,
right.
Let's keep it real. But anyway, because, that's how our parents used to find out about that. They were like, what the hell are you listening to? And that's, anyway. So, and I'm going off track in a rant again, but let's not even get started with the fact that why is it musicians' responsibility to police your kids?
Well, and that's a debate right now. So everyone's like, because they're saying like, oh, you're being a role model for children. And I know Cardi B's
no one asked to be a role model.
Right, and that's exactly what Cardi B said. She's like, I'm not asking to be a role model. I'm not asking your kids to listen to my music. Then you need to be a better parent and police the choices of music that they listen to if it's really that problem, if it's really that big of a problem for you. It's not my fault that your kids choose to listen to me.
Yeah.
I'm not putting my music out for your children.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not the musician's responsibility to cater to the needs of your children because they choose to listen to your music. No. That's why they have fucking Kids Bop, which was hilarious because my friend was like, how is Kids Bop gonna turn this one into a song? How are we gonna I wonder what the spin on this is gonna be.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know if I saw that on Twitter or if my friend said it, but yeah, I saw something where they were like, how is Kids Bop gonna twist this one? Like...
Yeah, I just called it.
I'm just hoping that this end of the year is positive because it's holiday season. And,
2 hurricanes are about to hit the Gulf.
I'm going to need you to not point out the realities.
Laura and Marco, or what's his name? Marcus?
I think it's Marco. Marco.
Oh.
I think it's Marco.
I thought it was Marcus.
I think it's Marco because... I can't say it, but I think it's Marco.
Okay. Well, Laura and Laura and Marco are on another one heading straight for the Gulf. And then someone said, I was reading somewhere, I don't know if this is right, but that 2 hurricanes have not hit the Gulf since like the 30s.
It's definitely Marco.
Thank you. No, I want to say it's been longer than that. Like, the chances of 2 hurricanes happening are like at the same time as a really low chance or high, whatever.
Jesus.
I don't know what I'm saying.
Maximum winds are 75 miles per hour. This is Marco. My goodness.
Yeah, so we live in South Texas, so for the next several days, we're going to be watching the news pretty closely. We don't live on the coast, though, but we obviously have family that live there and stuff. Like Bianca's, got some family in Houston and stuff, so we need to, just pay attention. And I swear to God, San Antonio, if we have another gas shortage, I don't even know what I'm gonna fucking do. I swear.
Don't put that out in the universe. You take that back.
Yeah, it was all that newscaster's fault, remember? Now it's gonna be your fault.
Wow.
I'm not saying anything.
You just said.
You just said it.
I said it, but I didn't say go do it. I said don't do it. Okay?
Yeah, but you planted the seed. So now people are going to think about it and they're going to go panic and they're going to go do it.
Okay, look.
Yeah, they're going to listen to our podcast and then
Yes, the massive following. Exactly. The massive.
All 53 followers are going to then tell all of their friends to go buy gas.
It's a domino effect.
Exactly. It's a domino effect.
Wow, way to go.
I swear to God. That gas shortage was
was
stupider than the
horrible.
toilet paper shortage
It was.
of 2020. The gas shortage of what
But
when
wasn't
was
that legit? Because the toilet paper thing wasn't. Like, the toilet paper one, we
No, the
totally
gas
made
was
up.
not
It was
legit.
not legit.
It was
Oh,
made
really?
up. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was made up by that news anchor
Yeah.
Wow. Did he
who
get
had a
fired?
fake source, right? Or something.
Yeah.
Or like the source.
And I think it wasn't even a legit fact. They even said it hesitantly, I think, where it was like, because of Harvey, because Harvey's coming to Houston, it potentially could cause a gas shortage because the trucks aren't going to be able to travel
I remember
outside
that,
of
and then
Houston.
everyone was freaking
But I think
out,
it was an
storming all
opinion.
the
I don't
gas
think it was an
stations.
actual.
yeah, it wasn't anything.
Thing.
I
I
almost
think
got
they
into
were
a
just-
fight with some lady because she cut me off on my pump.
Yeah.
remember that.
And
Oh
people
yeah, I
were-
waited for like over an hour at the HEB gas station. It's terrible.
It's just, people are so fucking stupid.
Look, just don't do it. Is what I'm saying. Don't.
Oh my
we're
God, knock on
fine.
wood, Harvey was terrible.
Harvey was
That
terrible.
was so hard. I knew so many people that affected
Yeah.
personally. Oh, that was so sad.
Yeah, that was horrible. So anyway, I don't want that to happen again. Ugh, that. But anyway, we will be watching the weather very closely.
Well, hopefully it's one of those things where they get weaker. Because I know storms tend to weaken once they hit land, but hopefully... Because I feel like, yeah, like 75 miles an hour sounds pretty strong, but I feel like they've had stronger hurricanes in the Gulf that hit.
Well, that's
So, I don't know, maybe I could be wrong.
that report was Marco, and he's not. He hasn't upgraded to a hurricane yet. He's still a tropical storm.
Well, hopefully he stays that way.
Yeah.
Because is the other one a legit hurricane?
Laura, yeah, that's a hurricane.
Well, because I think the path of them too is Laura will hit Texas and Marco's supposed to hit
Like
Louisiana.
Louisiana, and like southern U.S.
yeah. So maybe
I
He's
thought
not
it was
technically southern,
opposite.
but-
Oh,
no,
whatever.
I think Laura's
no, I think
going
Laura's coming to
Texas.
us.
The point is that
Global warming.
hurricane season is here. She's not queer. Hurricane season is not queer. Hurricane season is a straight conservative white male. Like
Amen
there's
to that.
like that's what hurricane season is.
I'm gonna blame global warming as a male conservative because
Yeah.
California is on fire again, and once again there are no. AOC, she tweeted, she said something like, "Oh yeah, but a new deal, like the new Green Deal, isn't accurate or something like that." She said something. I don't know. She's such a boss. I can't.
She is. She's
I
such
love
a
her.
boss ass bird.
I can't put it into words, but anyways.
Yeah. No, and I completely agree. Like, yeah, there's fires again. Also, support your farm workers.
Oh,
Support
yes.
your farm workers. They are out there still in Southern California in the fire zones picking,
I saw that.
produce and stuff for grocery stores and so people can eat. Please support your farm workers. So we're going to put a link on our Instagram page for you to donate. And, and farm workers across the country are struggling right now, especially with the start of school. Sorry if you hear a dog. We're live, okay? We're not live. This is pre-recorded. We're not live, but like a day. But it's okay. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Anyway, we're not live.
I'm lost.
Also, Laura's not a hurricane, it's a tropical storm.
So
Okay.
none of them are hurricanes?
Not yet.
So edit. Laura's not a hurricane. She's a tropical storm. But anyway, yeah, support your farm workers and that's what I was gonna say. Especially the ones right now in South Texas. What I've heard is that they are really struggling to get school supplies to their kids who are starting up school, and they're struggling with like Wi-Fi hotspots and
I'm just so ashamed to be an American right now.
So
Like,
we're gonna put links on our Instagram
embarrassing.
page of where to donate, and I think Lupe. I don't know how you pronounce. I think it's Lupe. It's Lupe. I just don't know if it's like Lupe or if it's like Lupe. Anyway, is an organization that helps send the appropriate goods and to the farm workers. I'm sorry, I'm trying to think of the words. And now that we're live, Lauren's not live. Oh my God, that we're in person. Lauren's staring at me, and so her freaking eyeballs make me stumble even more than I would normally stumble.
You have 2 burning holes in your head.
Yeah, so shout out to Lauren's eyeballs
I zap laser beams out of
and the finger rolls that she does, telling me to hurry the fuck up.
I'm like, okay, we're getting somewhere.
We're almost there. We're almost there. I stumble over my words as it is. Okay, I don't need
Well,
Lauren's
quarantine has changed you.
laser death stare. So
What
what?
happens to me?
What do you mean quarantine's changed me?
I
What
stumble on
happened?
my words now because of my lack of human interaction.
I have a theory that I stumble on my words now because I have a lack of human interaction. That was funny. I just heard you. I have a theory that I stumble on my words now because this has been a trend for me for the last couple of years. I've noticed that it takes me longer to think of the appropriate words and terminology, and I never used to have that issue. And I really think it's stress related. I think the more that
could see that.
stress escalates in my life, the more that I that I stumble over words. Anyway,
Your
that's
mind
my
just runs faster than you're speaking.
Yes.
I hate when it
That's-
happens. It does it to me a lot.
That's my
I
thing.
do that all the time.
I gotta stop doing that. You can probably hear it. Anyway. Yeah, you know another thing that happened this week? Remember my friend Tandy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Tandy.
She listens to every
Shout out to Tandy. What up, girl?
Yes. She listens to every single one of our podcast episodes. She's super supportive of the podcast and of my poetry. At the Louisa Writes on Instagram.
Underscores in between.
Yeah.
Shameless plug.
Is there?
I think so.
I don't think there's.
You
I'm
don't know
pretty
your
sure
own
you have
Instagram
underscores in your Louisa
Does that
Wright.
surprise you?
Oh my gosh.
That I don't know.
Actually, no, it doesn't.
Exactly.
It's very ethel of you.
Exactly. That shouldn't surprise anyone that I don't know.
Yes. Okay. Let me just say this now.
But anyway, Tandy has been super supportive of. Oh, I'm sorry. What is it? Okay, go ahead. See, again, we're in person and
_Louisa_Writes
on Instagram.
on Instagram
is my poetry page where I talk about, whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
And
Poem.
You're really
sometimes
good.
it is poetry and sometimes it's not, I've noticed. So you know what? Whatever. Read it, don't read it. It is what
It's
it
gonna
is.
change your life.
Wow.
Go do it.
Okay.
Go read it. Don't listen to her. Go read it.
Anyways, Tandy's been just super supportive through my whole writing process and my whole in our podcast process too, because she listens to and she comments. She always sends me messages for all of our episodes. She's so awesome, and you can follow her too. We'll put her Instagram page, and she also has a website, TandyEllenGutierrez.com. So go check her out. She is an amazing writer also. So anyway, but she's super supportive, but because we've been messaging back and forth about the podcast over the last several weeks, we've been reminiscing about our college days and about just, because we were talking about the 90s shows not that long ago. We were talking about Charmed because, Alberta and I used to watch Charmed all the damn time. Amazing show, by the way, about witches.
Nice.
Yeah, I think you knew that.
I did.
Oh, okay.
I did
Well,
know that.
yeah, I'm just telling you. But then we were also talking about, just like reminiscing about college. And I had an amazing time in college. I met amazing people, just had an amazing time. But one of the things that I was thinking about a couple days ago when we were talking about it, Tandy and I, is I struggle because I had such a great time and a great experience. But my college experience, it was the first time when I realized that I was probably depressed in my life. That was like the first time that I remember thinking like, oh, I think this is more than just
Being sad
or being like, I think I'm depressed. And so because of that, unfortunately, I think about that. So then we were talking about college and I started thinking like, yeah, but there was also that. And it kind of puts a little damper on things, but I have some amazing memories. But yeah, I definitely feel like when I think about college, my mental health journey starts in college,
Mm-hmm.
But what I will say is that today I feel a lot better than I've ever felt, since I was younger,
Yeah.
really young. So that's good.
That is good.
But I did start to think about that, yeah. My mental health journey.
Yeah.
Because I started off in college feeling really depressed, where I was like, oh, I'm depressed. Like there's no other term for how I'm feeling. And there was a lot of stuff going on toward the end of college too, like my roommates obviously started graduating and moving away, and I had to stay longer because my lease wasn't up yet in the apartment. I was working in retail for the shittiest guy ever. The shittiest fucking manager ever. I mean, this dude was disgusting, and talk about like toxic masculinity and like just yeah, he was just a horrible person, and I hated working for him. And he used to make me go in at 6 a.m. like him and I by ourselves and stuff, and he never like did anything or anything like that, but he was just so weird. Anyway, Creepy. Yeah, and he ended up getting fired by the company for sexual harassment years later. Anyway, so he was just like, that did not help. And then when I had graduated when I had graduated college and then I still had to stay working for him, I don't think that helped my mental health. So then there was that. Yeah. But even before that, I think as soon as I moved out of the dorms is when I really noticed it. And when I moved into the apartments, I just remember not wanting to do anything. Like if it didn't involve going out or going to class, or obviously work, because I had to go to work, I did not want to do anything. Like I just wanted to be there and not like, and just sleep pretty much. Yeah. So anyway, like that's the first time where I started having those type of feelings. And then when I moved out and I moved back in with mom and dad after I had graduated, my lease was up or whatever, it got better, but it wasn't great. You know, it just got better because I was living back with mom and dad, and it was a more comfortable, safer environment for me. But then I had to and then that really started years of trying to figure out what the hell was wrong. Yeah. Years of a shitty doctor, years of finding out that I not only had depression, but I had anxiety, and years of trying medications and figuring out my health. Like that started, and it wasn't until about a year ago when I got diagnosed with diabetes that I really started to feel better, because my diabetes, even when I was super happy, my diabetes this is what I found out, was making me feel depressed because my insulin levels weren't right, and diabetes affects your whole affects a lot of things. So then I started to figure that out. But yeah, it was a very long journey, I would say an over 10-year journey of trying to figure out my mental health. And yeah, Tandy reminded me of that, and I remember thinking like, aw, I had so much fun, but then at the same time, yeah, it was also, you know, it's good. It turned out good. And like I said, I think I'm at the best place that I've ever been, but it has taken a while figuring out what all was wrong.
You know, it's funny you say that, because my college experience was not a typical college experience, because I think I graduated high school kind of like you discovered you were depressed in college. Mm-hmm. But I think I had issues even in high school. I remember mom and dad asking to put me in therapy. Like, I was a senior in high school, and they asked, like, do we need to put you in therapy? And I was like, no. But you probably don't remember because you're at Texas State. You, Lindsay, might remember because you lived with us. We were all together. But yeah, I was the same way. I did not want to do anything if it wasn't going to school. And I wasn't working because I was in high school, so I wasn't, old enough. But I was on dance team, and it was a really vigorous dance team. And I just remember my senior year of high school, I remember in our football season, our dance uniforms that we wore, we had belts, like little cowboy belts that we would lace up. And I remember at the beginning of the year, I still had room with my belt. And then by the end of the year, when we were doing our spring show in May, we had to wear outfits again, and my belt overlapped because I had lost weight throughout the year.
I remember that.
And then I remember mom, the other dance team moms would ask my mom if I was okay because I looked really skinny, and if I was.
Oh my God, I remember
and,
that.
If I had any issues or anything going on, because I just looked like I had just lost so much weight. And I'm realizing now. This whole pandemic, this whole quarantine, I've learned so much about myself because I've only been, it's just me, myself, and I literally right now, because we've been quarantining and and not being around other people. So I've had to really look at myself, and I'm realizing that I've always had a really shitty relationship with food.
Yeah.
Like, not just, like, my diet's always been bad. I've always had a bad diet. But not just that, but just eating itself, just wanting to eat. And I think that plays a role with my anxiety, because when I get anxious, I'm not a stress eater. I lose my appetite when I'm stressed out. I don't want to eat when I'm stressed out. And then, like, for instance, when we were in quarantine, I just got so bored. I was so tired of eating. Anything. Nothing sounded good. Healthy food, bad food. I didn't want to cook. I didn't want to pick anything up. I just did not feel like eating. I did not want to eat. I was just so tired of it. And, you know, and then, I don't know if you've ever, I wasn't intentionally starving myself, but I just didn't feel like eating anything. And so when I would try to get myself to eat something, I'd feel like throwing up because it wasn't what I wanted to eat. And so I just wouldn't eat. And so it's painful. That feeling hungry is painful. It's painful. Your stomach hurts, you get headaches, you get tired, you get irritable. But I'm just trying to understand my relationship with food, because it's always been bad. So a couple of years ago, when I officially got diagnosed with anxiety because I had a really bad panic attack at work, the doctor referred me to a nutritionist. And he said, you know, go to a nutritionist, because you don't realize how much your diet plays effect into your mental health. So like your
That's
insulin
true.
levels were low, so you felt like shit everywhere else.
Yeah.
And so I went to a nutritionist, and she told me, she was like, well, if you have a high sugar diet, if you have a high caffeine diet, those are anxiety triggers, because they increase your heart rate and things like that. So you want to have a lower sugar diet. You don't want to have as much caffeine, because those are triggers for you. And then she said too, and then of course the amount of times you're eating, you want to keep your metabolism going. You never want to drop, and you I said, kind of like with water, you never want to be thirsty. It's almost like you never want to be hungry either.
Yeah.
So you want to keep your levels. And for me, someone with anxiety, you kind of have an obsessive compulsive disorder to an extent, to where for me, that's all I was focusing on. And so it was like, and then I started freaking out if I wasn't eating enough. Oh, I didn't have 3 meals today like I should have. Or I need to have 6 meals instead of, I didn't eat all of the 6 meals. And now my blood sugar is going to be low, and I'm going to get sick, and I'm not going to feel good. I'm going to get a headache. Am I going to pass out because I didn't eat enough? And what am I eating? And then you start feeling guilty. Oh, I went out to eat. I shouldn't have had sugar. I shouldn't have had caffeine. I shouldn't have. And oh my God, it's so exhausting constantly thinking about food.
Yeah.
Because you never realize it unless you're eating healthy, you know, and I know a lot of people that, you know, they have good habits and it's easy for them, and yeah, you know, you can pick up good habits and learn to, but
yeah,
for some, if you have anxiety like I do, that stuff can be very, you just obsess over it. So I'm constantly thinking like, and then too, you get in your head. So then sometimes, and I know my body. I know I can go a good while without eating and feel fine. But just recently I've noticed that if I notice I haven't eaten in a while and I notice I'm starting to get hungry, I start to panic. Because then I'm like, okay, well, what am I going to eat?
Yeah.
And if I don't eat quick, my blood sugar is going to drop and I'm going to pass out. That's literally what I think about if I've gone so long without food.
Which has happened to you before.
Which has happened to me before. So
you passed out.
So stuff like that freaks me out.
Yeah.
But I'm so stubborn, so it's like I don't know. It's just my relationship with food is just shit.
No, I get you. So's mine. I mean, and I do want to be clear. Like, I have depression and anxiety without the diabetes. The diabetes exacerbates the depression, and and so like even on my high days, because I have diabetes, if my sugar levels are high and I'm not paying attention, you know, and I'm not really taking care of myself, it exacerbates everything. You know, it exacerbates that I feel obviously physically like shit, but also my mental health. Like if it lasts a long time, I find that I'm starting to like fall back into a particular mindset. So yeah, it's definitely a bad relationship with food.
And I don't necessarily, I'm not saying I have an eating disorder.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't look at myself and think I'm too fat or, you know, I need to lose weight. It's not like I'm anorexic or bulimic or anything like that. But my anxiety affects how I eat. Yeah. And so
one of the best quotes that I've ever seen, though, just to your point too, is that and then, it was just like a quote, like done in like a meme style, on Instagram, where it was like, reminder, healthcare professionals, dietitians, and trainers, physical exercise trainers need to understand that you are at all times dealing with a person with a mental illness, because, self-esteem, the way that you view your body, weight, disruptions, those stem from mental illnesses. So you need to be cognizant of that at all times. And some people are not. Some trainers are not. Some exercise professionals, especially, like, they're not cognizant of that. And I think that's when you might get people into trouble, because they're not thinking about the mental side of it too, because it is a constant mental game.
Well, and it's so funny that you say that. And I mean, obviously, like, I'm not certified in personal training or anything like that, but it does make you think, like, mental health plays such a big role in everything that we do.
Yeah, it's in everything.
That it's crazy that it's not more emphasized in things.
Yeah.
Like even just simple onboarding for a new job, how to handle stresses, how to handle coworkers in a stressful situation, how to handle yourself in a stressful situation, and conflict. If you're dealing with a customer, how do you handle, because for me, I don't do well with conflict. I get really anxious and I start to sweat and I start to stutter my words, and sometimes I don't say the right things because I can't think properly. But I wasn't trained on how to de-escalate those.
Yeah.
You learn yourself. You
right.
learn, you go through those situations yourself, and then you realize, okay, I can handle that better. But you're not taught that right away. And it's like, well, why not? Why aren't we taught these things? So yeah, like personal training, like people go to personal train. They have personal trainers for a reason. They can't do it themselves. They don't have the motivation. They don't have the drive. Yeah. They need someone else to physically push them to lose weight and get on the right track. That's already, should already be telling that they have something, they have deeper issues than just wanting to lose weight. It goes so much, and I have a lot of personal trainer friends, and they're fabulous, and you love them, and they have such good clients, but they're all counselors. They create these relationships with their clients because their clients tell them their issues. I have this health issue. I have this health issue. I'm depressed. I can't get out of bed. I just want to do something for myself, and this is it. And so your personal trainers are now going into counseling, essentially. But they're not trained to do that. They're trained to show you how to work out and how to do it properly. Right. But they're not trained to tell you how to handle the mental aspect of it. And they say that too. It's all mental. It's all mental. You could work out every day, but if you don't tell yourself to work out every day, you're not going to do it. You could eat healthy, but if you're not telling yourself to eat healthy, you're not going to eat healthy. It's all mental. That's where it starts.
Yeah, if y'all haven't guessed already, this is the first episode we're doing in person. Okay. Sorry. Oh my god.
I feel like we're yelling.
I feel like we are too.
Dude, this is going to be loud.
It's fine. People, okay, turn down your headphones then, okay?
Yeah.
This isn't whisper ASMR, okay? This is us being us. Okay. Anyway,
I think it's fine.
Oh yeah, because we're in person, you might hear dogs in the background.
Sorry.
It is what it is.
Remember little Teeny, Olive Teeny? We shouted her out like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, well, she's here.
She's here.
And she's queer.
She's queer.
Yeah. She listens to WAP, so she gets it. She totally gets it.